When he was alive, he kept us all together, and when he died, everybody started to just go left, man. My grandmother died. My grandfather died. My dad has been pretty much brain dead. The women have fared okay, but, you know, women always need a strong man there. If there's no strong man there, then they just can do the best that they can, but the best that they can do was never enough for me and my family and in my life. So, I say all that to say that, my Uncle Greg's death just ruined us all. That night, October 1st, 2001, I was playing PlayStation 2, John Madden, and this is a game that, you know, I can't lose in. Then I get a knock on the door.
He sold to someone earlier that day. They came back, I don't know, after midnight, I guess. And I guess, you know, the policy was not to be serving anybody at that hour. You know, shops closed down. But, you know, I guess for whatever reason, you know, he opened the door.
And from behind him comes, you know, 3 other guys. And they kick in the door, and I fly back. And, you know, one of the guys runs in and starts to head towards the table where, you know, I have, you know, my product and my gun. And so I'm just worried about the gun.
And, you know, I've heard different stories. You know, they had the gun or he had the gun and they took it from him. I don't really know what happened in that situation, but I do know he got fucked up.
This other guy, the bigger guy, was rolling around on the floor. We were rolling around for what seemed like 10 minutes to me, but must have been about maybe even 10 or 15 seconds. And I started to ease the gun out of his hands. And when he felt that he might lose the gun, then he just started shooting wild. And you know, I took a bullet in the upper chest area, real close to my heart, and one under the arm, one in the stomach, one in this arm. And I didn't know at that time, but we had broke loose. And when we broke loose, I crawled to my feet and took off down the hallway where I had another gun, you know, back under my bed. And I was rushing towards that, and I heard 2 or 3 more shots, and I fell to the ground. And I thought I was dead at that point because I couldn't move, and I was just laying on my face thinking that, you know, I'm dying or this guy's about to come up behind me and finish me off, you know?
And people want to say, you know, he didn't get shot 5 times and all that stuff. It's like, you know, he has a bullet hole, and, you know, everywhere that, you know, that he said he got shot, there's a bullet hole to, you know, prove it.
And my whole life flashed before my eyes. You know, when they say you get real close to death, your life flashes between your eyes, and you think that it's all bullshit. How can your whole life flash, you know, before your eyes? It happens, and it's real. It happens so fast, but so in detail that it is the only word that I can use to describe it would be God, because I seen everything that I had ever did, the most important things that mattered to me in my life, within a span of 5 seconds, in detail, as if they were cut up and edited into a motion picture.
Yeah, I remember, you know, him being in the hospital, life support, coma, all that stuff, you know. We're not knowing what's gonna happen to him, where everybody in the family's frantic.
This might sound sick, but it almost makes you wanna revisit dying to get that feeling again, you know? Next thing I remember was waking up to 2 Los Angeles sheriffs, and you know, they wanted to know what happened, what they looked like, what was the purpose of the shooting. And you know, of course, we got that stop snitching clause, so I tell nothing, and I resume the rest.
I'm ready to die without a reasonable doubt. Smoke chronic and hit it doggy style before I go out. Until they sign my death certificate, all eyes on me. I'm still at it, Illmatic, and that's the dot.
especially Compton, California, one of the worst ghettos in America. Friends come and go. Sometimes they move, sometimes they go to jail, sometimes they die. Tato has always been there, man.
You know, growing up, I mean, all my cousins are from the gang, you know, and I consider them my homies, you know what I'm saying? But they know that what route I took, and all the big homies respect that, you know what I'm saying? Wanted me to go and do something positive, you know what I'm saying, as far as the college thing. You know, Game was more, you know, as far as, you know, him into it with his moms and stuff, and then his pops and stuff like that, and then going to the foster home and stuff. So, and then moving in with his brother, that he was seeing this stuff and drew him in. It kind of, I wouldn't say it forced him, but it was like, you know, either ride or die.
He went to college, and I went off to play basketball in college.
You slinging rock or you got a wicked jump shot is pretty much is what he was saying as far as the hood.
Coming out of high school, 6'4", dunking on everybody, making the shots, and you know you can do it all.
Yeah, Game was damn good. It still is good. You know what I mean? And he has a hell of a jump shot. If you give him a couple of feet, he gonna pull down and then pop a three on you in a second.
Right after I got shot, you know, I seen Tato driving through Compton. He came around to the house, and he got out. You know, we talked for 2-3 hours, and we came outside, got in our cars, and Tato, I got in mine, and I was about to close the door, and Tato got in his, and then I hear 12 gauge shots. Boom, boom, blew my fucking driver's side mirror off, and I looked back, and it was a guy in the street, like it was a fucking Western movie.
You know, he realized, and I believe that, you know, once he really thought about it and evaluated the situation, he wanted to try something different. And I think that that's the turning point where he said, I wanted to start rapping. I wanted to start writing rhymes and see if that worked. You know, the drug selling and stuff got me caught in this situation, so let me try to result to something different so I don't get caught up in this situation again.
I looked at him, he looked at me, and we've been around violence and shootings and drive-bys all our life. So we knew. We're alive. Fuck what just happened, man. Let's go this way from now on. And shortly after that, I got signed by Dr. Dre, and you know, friendship continued.
I was hearing a buzz in the street about Game from Compton on the rap scene, and then when he was getting on the mixtape team, when he was shopping for a deal or whatnot, when we was bumping his, he was just like, fuck with me, man, on the next nigga. Bring the West Coast back, make that shit, fuck with me, man.
When I first met Dre, it was me being escorted in the studio, or he was working at the time, working on Get Rich or Die Trying, and I was escorted in the studio by Mike Lynn, who at that time worked for Aftermath, and you know, I met Busta Rhymes for the first time, Nate Dogg and Dub C was in the studio, and I was just starstruck, you know, and I played, you know, my demo for him, or what seemed like one song on my demo, and he stopped it in the first verse and said, I want to sign you. And I looked at him in the face, and I just remember the look he had on his face, or the look his eyes told